Do you ever feel like your own worst enemy is yourself standing in your own way? Almost as if no matter how much you say to yourself, I need this and I need this change, you just can't. Because something in you, some part of you just won't let it happen. I've been there, and honestly, I'm still there all the time. I find myself constantly struggling with self-sabotage, even with making this video you were watching. I've tried for what feels like forever, different ideas, different styles, but every time I sit down to make something that I actually believe in, something that feels real, I just avoid it. I put it off. I sit down to press record and it's just there, just completely putting me on mute and silencing every will I had to start recording. I don't even know why. It's like my mind just wants to stay where it's comfortable, even if I don't. The sad truth is that's what self-sabotage is. It's when we act against the things that we say that we want to become. It's our old self trying to hold on to what it already is. It's not always obvious, and a lot of the time it looks like procrastination. Sometimes it's overthinking, convincing yourself you are not ready. But deep down, maybe it's simply just fear. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding, fear of being seen. Fear of losing the person you are in order to become the one you want to be. That fear is very good at disguising itself as seemingly logical shit, you know? I always find myself thinking stuff like, I'll start when I'm ready. Maybe after I go make food, go work out, go on a walk, something. Next thing you know, I'm just distracted. I'm leaving my house, going to hang out with friends, completely forgetting that surge of motivation I had to get to work and make those things that I know will make my life better. I find myself convincing myself it's not the time, and I've heard that before. I mean, trying to watch videos, trying to research, stuff like this video, trying to figure out my own self, I suppose. Trying to figure out how to fix myself. I feel like I've spent years trying to make something work. I don't want to be stuck in some horrible 9 to 5 where I just can be swapped out like an old battery when they finally decide it's okay for me to retire, you know? Like, that's not the life that I want to live. It's not what I want to show my future kids, my future self. I need more, and I want more, much like all of you probably do. I get this feeling of euphoria, this feeling of, this is it, this is what I need to do to get out of this, but I start, and I find it harder to continue, to concentrate, I guess. The truth is, there isn't ever going to be that perfect moment, though deep down we all know that, because at the end of the day, if you don't just start right now, it gets harder and harder every single day to make that start. Why do we self-sabotage? I don't think it's because we're lazy or weak. I think it's because we are protecting ourselves. If you don't try, you can't fail. If you don't succeed, you don't have to deal with the pressure of keeping it up and staying consistent. If you stay stuck, it's familiar and you know how to survive. The easy way. That's the twisted comfort of self-sabotage. It keeps you safe from disappointment, but it also keeps you from growing. I feel like we are conditioned and trained to develop these patterns early on. Maybe from rejection, embarrassment, or people who just made us feel like success wasn't something for us. So now, every time I get close to something good, or something that I feel proud of, I guess my old voice comes back and just whispers, just give up, you're not ready, it's not for you, man. You're not going to do this right, you're going to mess it up. It's somehow going to go bad, and it's going to be another failure down the drain. But if you're like me, you sometimes talk to yourself in a way that you'd never talk to someone that you love or care about, or one of your friends. Sometimes looking into the mirror, you say the most hurtful things that you can think of about yourself. And this isn't a self-pity thing. I feel like it's a sort of self-regulation thing. Like pointing out the bad things so that you can shine light on the good things. And sometimes it's hard. Some days it's different. Some days you can't seem to find those good things. It's just, at the end of the day, though, you have to try to find the best parts that you love about yourself and remind yourself of those things, because you aren't your mistakes. You aren't your downfalls. You are defined by what you do after, by picking yourself up and continuing to try to better yourself. I think it's very important to be aware of when you start to get that feeling of self-sabotage, because when that happens, do me a favor and just ask yourself, what are you protecting yourself from? That one question, that can be the determining factor in that moment on whether or not you are going to walk away from what you're doing, go sit on the couch, or do what you know you need to do, what is best for you. Worst case, start small. Anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes a day. If you want to make a video, you want to work out, you have any goal in your head that you keep trying to get started on and you keep sabotaging and procrastinating and distracting yourself, just 10 to 30 minutes a day. Next thing you know, you'll be spending hours on that thing. So build trust with yourself through small, consistent wins. And if you're somewhat of a perfectionist like me, try to remind yourself that what's more important than perfection is progress. Whether that progression is a sliver off of an old house of problems or hours of work. If you feel guilty or shameful about not having already started, just remember you are allowed to let that go, and you don't need to hold on to that, because as soon as you start, you are free from that guilt. You're taking that first step to be a better you. Because at the end of the day, self-discipline and avoiding self-sabotage isn't a punishment. It's self-respect. It's saying, I deserve to show up for myself even when it's uncomfortable. You're not broken. You've just been protecting yourself the only way you knew how. But it's time to learn a new way. One where growth feels safe and success feels deserved. So, if you guys know what I'm saying, just take one small action today that your future self will thank you for. It doesn't have to be big, just something that says, I'm done holding myself back. I need this. Because the truth is, you already have everything you need. Most people already know what to do. You just need to stop standing in your own way. You just need to stop self-sabotaging.